maybe a quarter and a half, maybe, if that.
Yeah, Billy, because you can replicate, even when you join practices, there's still certain controls on it that you don't have when you play in a preseason game. And then, of course, you can't replicate being in an NFL stadium with an NFL crowd. You can't replicate that in practice. So, Billy, how would you answer that question?
I mean, definitely. Woody hit it right on the head. I mean, we don't want to see our preseason team come out at week 1, week 2. Oh, we're going to get it together by week 4. No, I want to see it somewhat together by week 1. So we're good to go. And plus, like I say, we've already been through this. Chicago's already done this. I'm not going to play the starters as much. Look what happened last year. I mean, it just didn't. It didn't show none. And then, like you said there, Ken, I mean, let them come in. Let them see. Oh man, okay, wait, yeah. Some of them starters been here. Might not have some starters that probably are not here. They got to see how our crowd is. Let them come in. Let them play. And I wouldn't even say a whole quarter. I wouldn't mind just get them in there. Let's see how the first drive goes, and then go from there. I don't even need a whole quarter with them. Get them in there.
Yeah, and there's a reason why Cincinnati for preseason week 1 threw Joe Burrow and all the starters out there for 2 series, and they were asked the same question: why would you play them in week 1 of the preseason that much? The answer: because we've been starting slow as an offense the last couple of years, and we want to change that. And here's another interesting thing I'll throw out there too. And JB threw the numbers out, and I'll probably misquote the numbers to a certain degree, but I'm going to try to paraphrase it. Since the NFL, we went to 3 preseason games and got rid of 2-a-days and certain other things at practices, which was designed to make injuries go down. The inverse has happened. Since 2020, when we started, I think 2020 was the first year, or 2021 was the first year of 3 preseason games. And we got rid of the 2-a-days and everything. Injuries have gone up 45%. 45%. You want to get them in game situations for all the reasons that Woody talked about, Billy talked about, but injuries are actually going up because they're not playing the preseason, because you can't replicate even the amount of go they do during practice. The guys play harder in a game than they do in a joint practice, than they do against a practice with their own guys. There are so many controls in practices, joint or otherwise. It's completely different than even a preseason game feel is still a game. Yes, we look at, for these guys, a preseason game is no different than week 15 when they're in the game playing. They're still trying to win just as much today as they are in week 15. The difference is that we take the starters out and we play the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth string guys, and we don't care as an organization about the W or the L. The players do. The organization doesn't, because if they did, they wouldn't take the starters out at all. But they play the starters, get them reps, get them in to tune up, get the atmosphere and the situational awareness and everything else they need to do. Train as you fight, as we would say in the Army, and then they start bringing in the next couple levels, the second, third, fourth level guys, to see maybe some of these guys are going to push up to the 1. Maybe some of these guys are pushing to make a roster, and that's why they play them in the preseason, and we should. If you look at the teams that start hot, they play their starters. You look at the teams that start cold and it takes them a couple weeks to get going, they don't play their starters. Damien, I get where you're coming from. It's the same argument that guys have at the end of the season when you're going to the playoffs. Do you play your guys or do you sit them? It's kind of the same argument, just a little different. Go ahead, Woody.
When Aaron Rodgers used to get in the playoffs, right? What did Matt LaFleur say? You're playing because you're not going to get stiff in the first round if you're playing next week. Now back then, maybe 5-10 years ago, you get in the playoffs, they're going to rest their starters. The game doesn't mean nothing, blah, blah, blah. Now it's different now. You don't want to be stiff and cold going in the playoffs. You want to play your starters. Injuries are going to happen. You're playing a game, one of the most dangerous games in the fucking world. You're going to get injured. If you get injured, you get injured. That's the thing. But preseason is practice, but you got to think the coaches are like for example, a defensive back coach. Okay, he tells the cornerback, okay, go this way, and the running or the wide receiver is going to go other way. It's different than it is against teams in preseason when you're playing the games. You got to play the starters in the preseason. Make the mistakes now, not in the season.
Yeah, I mean, and Billy, I was surprised by when JB threw the numbers out. JB, of course, from the Lions shows that injuries have actually gone up since we've gone to the three preseason setup where the starters are barely playing, and they've got rid of the two-a-days and the amount of pad practices. I was shocked.
Well, you would think it would. I mean, like you say, their muscles are not. I mean, a lot of them are probably not major injuries. They're just from, like I said, they're not used to moving, and
Issue.
you're just getting hurt. You got to be active, man. It's just like, I mean, you can't sit there like take it. When we first started, remember I told you I had a buddy that said Caleb Williams looked gassed. He was sitting laying on the floor, he was gassed. Well, I already found out that he's not gassed no more. So obviously, hey, yeah, he is putting the work in. They're running him. They're doing the shit, all the practice and all that. So I mean, like I say, you just got to keep going and going and going. Hey, if you do get injured, and if it's a small injury, hey, I'm going to be out maybe like a week or two. Hey, look, it happened in week fucking 3 of the preseason. Cool. We're only going to lose you you might miss the first game, but guess what? We have some backups that are playing pretty good. You know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, it sucks, but that's how injury happened. I don't want to see my quarterback injured by week 3. Like, we're going to miss him for the next couple of weeks.
And that's the difference. It's like, what's the difference of the guy getting injured in week 3 of the preseason versus week 1 of the regular season? There is none. And the problem is, if you look at week 1 and week 2 of the regular season, it's almost like free agent day, right? You know how we all wait around for free agent day to start? So, who's getting signed? Week 1 is injury day. How many guys are going down today in week 1? Every year, it's like, and it's almost like free agent day where all of a sudden Adam Schefter is like, got all these updates he's pushing on his X account. Hey, there's like 15 or 20 friggin' injury reports from Adam Schefter about how guys are going to miss 2-3 weeks or a season on week 1. It's almost like them on signing day when he's posting all the people being signed. It's just injuries in week 1.
Here's another fucking thing, Damian. All these fucking guys practicing. I see. I don't remember the names though on what teams and stuff. Tore their ACLs during practice, not during preseason games.
Right.
During practice, so injuries can happen anyway. So play the starters so they're not sore or stiff, whatever, by week 1 or 2, like Billy said. You got to understand the game, Damian. I understand what you're trying to say, but you just got to think about it more.
And Kamish, thank you for subscribing to us. Don't forget, you can get us on Ken the Bear Fan at X, at the Huddle Sports Network on YouTube and Facebook, and at Chicago Bear News on Facebook and Mike the Bear Fan. But we're transitioning more towards Chicago Bears news there. And we're also, you can get us on Roku and Fire TV at the Huddle Sports app. You just go into your app and hit the search function, type in Huddle Sports, you'll see our app. So please make sure you like, subscribe, push notifications, share the show with your friends, repost on X, do all that kind of stuff, please. And we appreciate it. Thank you. The other thing though, too, that's interesting, Woody, and you're right. You got these guys who are tearing ACLs to practice, right? They're tearing ACLs and we're getting these soft tissue injuries. Back in the day when Steve McMichael would show up to camp with 3 cases of beer and a sleeping bag, these guys weren't getting hurt this much with these kinds of issues.
That's why you drink beer.
I almost wonder if some of these injuries aren't because these guys are in too good of a shape. They're not stopping. The season ends and maybe they take a week off and they're right back to their trainers that, these guys are paying $3 or $4 grand a month to train them in the off season, right? They're paying all these trainers and these guys are all working out all year, right? And so their bodies don't stop. I wonder if that just doesn't help create this issue. Like, are we better off where the guys showed up to camp out of shape with a 12-pack of beer and they get whooped and day 1 is puking on the sidelines because they were so gassed and winded? Or is the way we're doing it now actually better? I don't know which way. I mean, I don't think that the other way is not better, but we didn't get so many torn ACLs at practice and all these other soft tissue injuries because these guys are working. Like they need to take more time off, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Maybe they're not taking enough time off.
I would think if they're training and stuff like that, they're strengthening up their muscles and shit like that, their legs, their arms, whatever. Yeah, back then, like the 80s and 90s and even the beginning of the 2000s, you did not hear anything about ACL tears or anything. But Billy, when I go to the tailgate, you think when I drink a lot, I can start playing for the Bears on week 3?
When you leave, you're going to feel like you can.
I can't wait.
You know what, though? I mean, Billy, I think there's something to this, though, because, like, yeah, you would think they're strengthening their muscles, gaining speed, but they're working those ligaments and could be taking something that had started in the season and making it worse. Or like with JJ, we haven't heard anything about Jalen Johnson, right? About the injury. My suspicion it's either he pulled a hamstring or had a minor ACL or MCL tear he did in training with his personal trainer, and they just don't want to say it, right?
Mhm.
And I don't think it has anything to do with the contract noise. That was just some clickbait writer. But I think that he injured himself training with his personal trainer where he has a slight pull, a hamstring pull, or a slight tear somewhere, and that's what the injury is.
Hey, Woody, I'd like to ask you a question. What position would you like to play? Because you were asking me, hey, can we get a ride to the game? Like, you can't even walk 5 blocks to the game, but you want to play in the game?
Oh, it's
Come
only
on,
5
bro.
blocks. Oh, I mean,
Well, I'm just
you're,
guessing. I'm not sure where the tailgate is.
I already know you guys are going to be on that little bike carriage. You ain't walking.
no, I played quarterback 13 years for my the Lehigh Valley GFFL. So I'd probably either be backing up Caleb or giving a run for his money.
Well, if we do carry 3 quarterbacks, we're going to need somebody on the practice squad. So go play. Nobody will pick you up. Go practice with them.
Oh,
Hey,
you look like a good water boy to me.
Did you hear Woody's calling card to make the team?
Yeah.
He went to Ben Johnson and said, that's some high quality H2O.
H2O. Yeah. I got you.
All right, guys, I got to get out of here. I'm getting bombarded with messages. I got to go tailgate with all these people. I'll be up at the game tonight. I'll have the orange defense sign in the end zone tonight.
Sweet.
One month, Billy. See you
Go
later.
Bears.
Yep.
Go Bears. We'll see you soon. I mean, Damien says he'd rather have the starters sitting on the preseason, getting ready for the season, leaving us in a surprise, basically not knowing what they're going to do in the preseason. Damien, let me say this to you. If you think they're running the offense today, they're not. If you think they're running the defense today, they're not. Everything's vanilla. Everything they do in the preseason is vanilla. You're not seeing the playbook. You're seeing basic plays from the offenses and the defenses. They're not running their super stunts, trick plays, and all this other stuff. They're running plain Jane vanilla stuff. So they're just getting game action, acclimated to playing in a game is what they're doing. Is acclimation. It's like, let me put it to you this way, Damien. So you go to when we were trained to go to Iraq, where do you think we would go train? Do you think we're going to go train in the cold weather of Alaska, or we're going to go train somewhere hot to go to Iraq?
Border one.
We're going to go somewhere hot. Yep. So we can be a little more acclimated to the conditions we're going to face when we get to where we deploy, right? You don't, if you're going to go do mountain warfare, you don't train in the desert for mountain warfare. Different, right? You're not acclimated. These guys need to get in the games, get acclimated to game speed, game scenario, game situation. They're not running the actual offense or the actual defense. It's more about the acclimation of getting into the game. So there's that piece of it too. I mean, I think, though, we need to get the starters into more preseason action than what we've been seeing because of the injury rates. I think the injury rates are much higher because they don't play enough preseason. They don't do enough in practice with pads and stuff like that. I think that's all a big piece of it.
And my question to Damien is, what is your definition of preseason games? Do you think it is to see if everybody we have gels, or is it for the keeps and cuts? That's my question for you. What's up, Stu Dog? Bear down, bud.
Bear down.
He looks, I don't know how old he is, but the young people would think that, yeah, keep all your starters on the bench. Who cares what happens? Blah, blah, blah. Surprise for the beginning of the season. Come on, man.
I don't know. What do you think?
Wright did all right last week. He got burned a couple times, but yeah. Pickens, he's probably on a bubble because that defensive line, they're having a lot of coming up stars as it is. Braxton Jones, you know that he's in a three person battle with
four person.
Karan and Ozzy as well.
Ozzy and the Canadian Eagle.
Yep. And then Caleb, of course, all the eyes are on Caleb because of his performance last year. They did have an interview with him this week saying, or somebody, I think on NFL Network said that 28 of his 68 sacks were because he held the ball over 5 seconds. So think about that. 28 sacks out of 68, the most ever was when he was holding the ball over 5 seconds. So either nobody's getting open, or he just can't read a defense yet.
I'd like to see the breakdown of that from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. I bet that number declined as the season went on, as he learned.
Right.
Braxton, I think it's Braxton's job to lose. I think he just needs to play well. Zach Pickens, man, he's probably going to the second rotation because you got Grady, and then you've got Gervin, Dexter in the interior, and then you're going to have Deo and Montez at least starting. I mean, that's your front four right there. So I think Zach Pickens is on the outside looking in to break the starting lineup anyways. Nation, right? I mean, we were so deep at corner, but yeah, we just signed a couple corners. I just think he needs to continue progression and show that he can be a serviceable, capable guy back there, to be honest.
I'm just saying he needs a strong performance just for the fact of how many injuries we have at DBs.
Mm-hmm.
So when a guy goes down, somebody's got to fill. And he got burnt a couple times, but
and this week Major Burns was cut from his injury cut, waive, whatever.
There was a change of that though. So Wednesday they released him, but then they switched it to IR. So he's been placed on the IR, meaning the Bears don't want to get rid of him, because if the Bears didn't want to keep the kid, they would have waived him and done the compensation thing, right? They did not. They placed him on the IR, meaning they want to keep him, and they're looking for him to come back in the future. So that's a positive sign on Major Burns. That's not.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay, Damien, yes, the preseason is not as important as the season. No one's ever said that it is, but it's important to get them to the season.
Right.
You can only simulate so much in practice. You can only do so much in practice. You've got to they need to get assimilated to game scenario in the stadium with the fans against a team where you have no idea what's happening because it's not a practice. Even in joint practice, you can have an idea because you'll see the same play 8 or 9 times. In a game, you have no idea what's coming. You have to be able to recognize it, react to it, play to it. They don't necessarily do that as well much in practice. Game operation and play calling logistics, does happen a little bit, but the coaches aren't tipping their hands about what they're going to do in certain situations. They're also trying out situations like, come on, I wonder if we can try this. I wonder if we can try that. Well, hey, it's a preseason. Let's try a 4th and 3 and see how we react. Hey, let's try a 4th and 8 and see if we can do this kind of weird thing. This is also your time when you experiment with your starters.
And bring this up too. It's not the NFL. A couple high school teams around here where I live, they play practice games against other schools. Well, they're not doing that to keep the players and who they want to keep. It's a high school team. They're seeing how their team gels against other teams before the season starts. Injuries are gonna happen. It's just the sport. It's the nature of the sport. You never know what's going to happen. Yes, but you need that practicing with other teams to see how your team's going to gel together.
I mean, I need to see the offensive line in a game scenario, and you can't replicate that at practice. You can't replicate that in a joint practice, in a regular team practice. You've got to get them on the field to play in a game situation where they have to do things as a squad, and you have to acclimate them. You can't do that in practice.
Right. So anybody else in the chats, just ask another question because I'm done with this preseason talk. Please, fuck sakes.
Well, hey,
a couple more weeks of preseason talk, Woody.
Jesus,
only tonight and one more game. We have 2 more games left. Let's go.
Right. I got you.
Yinzer, what's up, my brother? Good to see you again this morning.
What's up, bud?
Hey, Aaron threw a nice pick yesterday, by the way.
He looked, he looked like he didn't play in a couple of years. I mean, what's going on with that? I like
you got to figure out. You got to figure out the new team.
Yeah, Richardson didn't play well. It's like Richardson last year when we played against the Colts and stuff like that. He was going to give us the game, like, here you go, and we still lost it. But
hey, speaking of tonight's game, I want to get to this before we kind of forget and run out of time. Mike, you want to tell folks what they can win this week and where they can try to win it at?
Yeah, Mike, what am I going to win this week? I picked the 2024 tie last week, by the way.
Every week I do it on Mike the Bear fan page, but I've been having issues with Facebook, and I'm pretty much converting everything over to Chicago Bears News for the prediction post. I will cross post still to Mike the Bear fan, but the winner of the prediction post, first person to comment the correct score, will win a running back auto.
Ooh, Ian Wheeler. Nice.
You would like to see Wheeler.
I would like it. Fuck. He played good last week, bud.
Cool. Yeah. Yinzer's not wrong. Everyone acts like the Super Bowl is one. Like, they won the Super Bowl in preseason.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's won in preseason, but I'll tell you what, it's what gets you right to go win the Super Bowl happens in the preseason. And it's not the wins and losses in the preseason; it's the work that you do in the acclimation you do in the beginning to gel as a team. So I mean, it's like you're right and you're wrong. You don't win the Super Bowl by winning the game tonight, but you win the Super Bowl by doing the work in the preseason that prepares you for the regular season to go win the regular season and then in the playoffs. We'll do our how many wins show as we get a little closer to the season, Matt. A little too early.
9. 9.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in that 8 to 10 range is where I'm kind of sitting, but I like Wheeler. That's a look at the room. We talked about the receiving room, the running back room. Last week, Roschon didn't play, Swift didn't play. Okay, fine. Wheeler had a good game.
Hankins.
Menangi had a couple good carries.
Yep.
How many? This is where I'm getting at. We're having these issues. Like, how many tight ends are we carrying? How many running backs and how many receivers? Because all three of those rooms look pretty well stocked.
Do you think we're going to keep 3 tight ends? Correct.
I believe
So we're probably going to keep Komet, obviously, Loveland, and probably Smythe.
It'll probably be him or Carlson jumping back and forth to the practice squad.
Yeah. Smythe, we just signed from Miami. Yep.
We're keeping Swift. We're keeping Roschon, it looks like. And then if we're taking 4, I would have to say right now it's Menangi and Wheeler.
Oh, I love you, Ken. I really do. I just want to say that on the air.
So you're saying Homer's the odd man out?
I'd say, now here's the thing though. Do we have enough guys on special teams to cut Homer since he's more of a special team guy?
He plays one special team, no issues, Ken. Woody, no issues. You can find somebody to fill his spot.
That's where Duvernay comes in. That's why Duvernay ends up making the roster. If we keep Zacchaeus, wide receiver, if we keep Zacchaeus, Burden, DJ, and Rome, that's 4. And if we have those other 4 running backs, we don't keep more of 8 between the 2. We did it last year. I don't know if we will this year, but that's 8. And so you have to kind of keep Duvernay to be your return guy. So that means we're not keeping a corner or a backup offensive lineman or something else. And then if we're keeping a third quarterback, you see where the issues are coming now because we have too much talent at running back and wide receiver and tight end.
Yeah, I said the same thing, Stu Dog. When we signed him in the offseason, the way he played with Baltimore, and he actually had some catches last week for wide receiver as well. So he's a good backup if somebody gets dinged up. I'm very happy with that signing.
Throw in on a gadget play or a fake gadget play. There's a lot of different things you can do with Duvernay. And there's a lot of different things you can do with Wheeler. And I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, we got a lot of freaking talent.
Yeah, well, Mike wants Velus Jones back. You already said that already.
I don't think he's gonna move DJ to running back.
Oh, hell no. Don't believe that, please. That was a debacle.
No. Yeah, that's not happening. Maybe for a trick play or something. I know they work some trick plays like that, but not full time.
You got to think though. Ben Johnson is coming over. He was a very smart offensive coordinator. The trick plays he had with Detroit. So you never know what will happen, but the way DJ was being running back in the practice, I heard it didn't work out too good.
I'm looking. Hippolyte's looking like a pretty good pickup. Ozzy's looking like a pretty good pickup in the draft. I think some people don't like Poles picks after the third round, but I think his third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh round guys are actually looking pretty decent, looking good. I think they're gonna make roster. I'm just wondering where cut date's gonna be interesting in Chicago. Just between the running back room and the receiver room, and then even the tight end room. And I'm just wondering if we're going to keep more than 4 receivers and 4 running backs. How deep are we going to go? And are we going to keep more than 2 quarterbacks? And Mike made a good point, and we've been, look at the quarterbacks. And the thing is, I agree with that. Like with Bagent, you need to get something for him. Keenum is the guy you can cut more than you can Bagent, I think, in terms of you couldn't trade Keenum. You could probably trade Bagent.
Yes, we'll have to, yeah.
But we got 2 more preseason games to see these guys, and let's see what they do. Because I don't want to get too excited because we had a certain veteran quarterback who last year tore up the Hall of Fame game, and that was it. And a wide receiver that tore up the Hall of Fame game, and we never saw him the rest of the year. So let's see. We still got 2 more preseason games to go. Let's see how that shakes out. As people are getting, the guys who are going to make the roster are playing more, and some of the guys who aren't are seeing less field time. It'll be interesting to see how those. It's like Case Keenum doing it against the 3s and the 4s. Great. How's he going to do against the 2s? Yeah, because did he look better last week than Bagent? Yes, but he also didn't face as tough of competition as Bagent. So it's going to be interesting to see how many quarterbacks we carry, how many running backs, and how many receivers. And then DBs and safeties. I mean, this is a deep team.
I'm thinking Poles did the switch, like you said. Thanks for saying that, because all I saw was Major Burns getting waived. It's because we have no safeties under contract next year.
None.
That's my player I do want to see today. Brisker, how he does after his 12-game injury last year, concussion wise. He's my player to watch today. I want to see how he does, because he's going to declare if we're going to have any safeties under contract next year. If he plays well, we're going to sign him out of his rookie. If not, Major Burns and a couple other guys are going to probably have to fill in back there or look in the draft again.
So interesting though with the contract situation, because there are 2 position groups that have contract voids, I guess, next year when we don't have people under contract. We have no backup quarterback under contract after this season. Bagent and Keenum are both on. Bagent's on the last year for his deal. Keenum's on a 1-year deal. And of course, the safeties. No one's under contract after this season. So we need to figure that out. That's got to get sorted too at some point.
All right.
Yeah, I hope Kwani stays healthy, man. Following his X account, he's pretty upbeat. He thinks he's ready. So I hope he is ready. I'm interested to see how he does. He said he had to retrain his entire nervous system and reteach himself how to play. So that's a pretty interesting comment to make. Let's see how that translates.
Wow.
Yeah. You know what I miss, Woody? I miss cut downs. Cut downs would make this so much easier, wouldn't it?
Yep.
I mean, every day there's a ton of minor transactions across the league, but it's like they cut 3 guys to sign 3 guys. It's like, really?
So how many we got on the roster? We got to cut 30 some?
We got 90 guys at camp, I think, is what the number is. You got to go down to 53. So we got almost 40 guys we have to cut.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, it's up there.
You got to think probably half of those guys will get signed by other teams too.
Nah, I wouldn't say
No,
that.
a couple of them will though. I think if whatever we cut at running back and receiver, I think whoever gets cut will probably get a job somewhere, and whichever backup quarterback we cut, if we cut one, may get a job somewhere. I think Case Keenum, though, like I said, I think he's less likely in some ways. Primarily more because of his age. He'll go to Cleveland. They just like to collect quarterbacks.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think we'll get a little more clarity today, maybe on some of the questions, but I'm not expecting a lot of answers tonight. Put it that way. So, guys, don't be bummed if you don't get the answers you're looking for tonight. It is only preseason week 2. Stu is saying he agrees with Mike that we keep 3 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Reed will be on the practice squad more than likely. But, I mean, you never know.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. Like, the hard part for me is this with that. That means we're taking a slot from another position group. And we already know, and like they wanted a vet last year, but they kept Bagent. Is Bagent not a vet with 3 years experience now? I don't know. But if you keep 3, now you're taking from another position group. If they decide that, hey, we can't cut one of these receivers or one of these running backs, and we have to expand that group by a player, now you're taking from somewhere else on the 53. So do you not take as many linebackers? Do you not take as many corners? Do you not take as many, offensive linemen or defensive linemen? What position group are you making sacrifices to take a third quarterback into the season on your roster, to take 5 running backs or 5 receivers versus maybe 4?
I think that has a lot to do with health, depending on
that too.
I agree with Stu Dog too. That's what I said earlier too, is that they need a vet for Caleb. Again, when Fields got hurt and Bagent kicked in, he played okay, but not like he could really win all these games. Case has proven that so far as a backup.
Well, he's got a playoff win too. So I mean,
right.
The Minnesota Miracle is his. So we're gonna have some tough questions, and we're gonna have to watch. Don't forget to watch the game tonight. If you can't see the game because you're out of market, contact Mike the Bear Fan because we may have an option for you tonight.
It's on Fox,
and it's on the local Foxes. And if you need IPTV, contact Woody. We'll be back Wednesday to talk about the game. And don't forget, Monday we'll be on Ken and Ken in the morning. We'll be talking about a lot of the preseason games all week, Monday through Friday at 10 in the morning, and back here at Halas Hall Wednesday. Mike, anything to close us out? He loves me.
No, I'm good. Just don't forget about the prediction post. I'm going to have it posted within 15 minutes.
There you go.
And Mike, you know my address. Everybody, have a good day. I'm bearing down. See ya.
Have a good one, everyone. Bear down.